Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's October 26th. Lisa, Scott, Jared in this morning. Kind of a snow day for some people.
Yes,
Not
it
us
is.
here yet. Before we jump into that, I want to remind you, of course, we're live on Facebook every weekday morning. It stays on your feed throughout the day, so you can check it out. We also make it into a podcast. You can go to inforum.com/podcast, look for the Inforum Minute, or find us as well on our Inforum YouTube channel. And of course, live on TV every weekday morning, 5 to 7. And this morning, Jared was tracking snow. I mean, you forecasted, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's really piling up. Can we talk about out west? We have to, even though it's like, not what we're dealing with here. It's kind of rain here, but it's impressive out there.
It is. I mean, some of the pictures we were showing on the DOT, it was just like there was snow on the roads, and then it looked like the ditches were just full already. So around Minot to Williston, just looked like some decent snowfall out there, and more reports will come in here. It's kind of tough the first part of the storm. It's only some people are reporting, but as more people wake up today, we're going to get a lot more reports coming in. But I mean, some of them, I think I saw 11-inch between Williston and Minot here, and around Minot, there's a lot of 6-inch marks, and then in Burlington, which is just northwest of Minot, they had an 8.5. So more reports coming in. Around 3 inches in Devil's Lake, but around there's some places that have already picked up over 6. So it's really dependent on where you're at. And I think it'll be pretty impressive, some of these that we'll get by the end of today, and especially tomorrow as the system wraps up. So Fargo-Moorhead, it's going to stay as rain all day long here for us. The chance of us seeing snow might just be a few hours tonight, maybe after midnight. And we may pick up a little bit since we're getting rain all day and it's so warm. It's kind of tricky if it's actually going to be here by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, but it won't stick around throughout the weekend is what the way I'm seeing this. But Grand Forks, we may end up picking up a few inches of snow, maybe 3 to 6. So there will be a chance of that sticking around. So temperatures this weekend will be a lot colder up in the northern part of the area. So if you have snow on the ground here by the end of the day, it's going to be a cold weekend and it's going to stay cold for a little while. Is it the snow that sticks the rest of the season? Tough to say right now. I think we could end up melting that next week for some of us, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough day for some, for travel wise.
I have a lot of family out. Goose Fest is happening right now in Kenmare, North Dakota. That's like northwest of Minot, but my mom's been sending me a ton of pictures of a lot of snow, and you're right, and cold too, because it was like 20 degrees colder there than here even, right? I remember seeing a 22 on your map.
Yeah, up in kind of northern parts of North Dakota. I think Minot was 22 this morning, but a lot of mid-20s, like toward the international border, but it was like 48 degrees in Detroit Lakes this morning. So Lakes area, Minnesota, really mild for this time of year. That's above our seasonal average highs. So warm start, dealing with some sprinkles and some mist, while others are getting blasted with snow, And it's an interesting one. Right now the snow is in like southwestern North Dakota through the northeastern part of the state, so northern part of the valley. If you're just north of Grand Forks, you're going to run into the snow. If you're just west of Grand Forks, you're going to run into the snow. But it may take a little bit here before we see that transition in Grand Forks.
Driving is not good if you're heading out that way too. So just be aware, because I know I did see some reports of people like having to drive like 30 miles an hour on the highway and stuff.
I think this evening's commute, especially for those areas more snow fills in, is going to be tougher. Fargo-Moorhead, it's still going to just be wet, so it's slower when people drive slower when it's wet out there. Tomorrow morning, though, really watch those road conditions and plan on it being icy. Hopefully it's not, but even if you only saw the rain, I think it could be pretty slick. So tomorrow morning's commute probably going to feature a lot of accidents. I hope not, but the first one of the year is always that way.
I agree.
So people haven't quite turned on the switch yet to switch to winter driving mode, even though we need to do that.
And even if you're thinking you're driving slow and you just tap those brakes, sometimes it's just like, oh, I still needed more space there. So keep that in mind tomorrow morning's commute.
Okay.
Right, sounds good. Thank you, Jared.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right, well, talking weather as well, breaking for you this morning. First snowfall of the season, also some of the first school delays of the season as well. We had at least 3 in our area. Devil's Lake, 2 hours late, and a couple other schools right around that same area. So just be aware, if you do need to head somewhere where there is snow, call ahead. We've also learned that the Lake Regional Human Service Center offices in Devil's Lake and Rolla will also be closed. Talked a little bit about the roads. A portion of I-94 under a no travel advisory this morning as well.
Lots of colors on that DOT map this morning. The further west and north you go. So if you're traveling anywhere in that direction, just keep that in mind. It's not the same as it is here in the metro area, of course. So many of the roads in the northwestern part of the state under some type of travel advisory this morning. So just be cautious, be careful. All right, let's move to some other headlines this morning besides the weather. Today, we are expecting to learn new information about a shooting that left a woman seriously injured in downtown Fargo. It's a story that we broke for you yesterday morning on First News. 30-year-old Kyle Ochoa is in the Cass County Jail right now facing attempted murder charges. Police say a 28-year-old woman is in the hospital with several gunshot wounds because of that incident that happened yesterday morning. Officers believe Ochoa and the victim did know each other. Formal charges are expected to be filed in Cass County sometime today. So as soon as we get our hands on those court documents, we'll pass along the information to you.
For the first time in more than 3 weeks, there's a Speaker of the House at the U.S. Capitol. Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson will serve his first full day in that role today. That means, however, there's now an opening for his former position as Vice Chair of the Republican House Conference. And one of the representatives from our area in Minnesota, Michelle Fishbach, wants that job. She's asking for support, touting her time as president of Minnesota State Senate is a good reason for her to have the job, saying she's qualified. But there are a couple other people, at least 5 other members of Congress, who also want that job.
All right, closer to hope, the special session in Bismarck is over. Both the State House and Senate were able to jointly pass amendments to the state budget to make it constitutional. They had to do that because the state Supreme Court said the original budget bill that they had violated the one subject rule. And then separate from that, the state Senate struck down an income tax relief bill that was proposed by Governor Doug Burgum. That bill would have put hundreds of extra dollars back in the pockets of North Dakotans, but at the same time cost the state about $46 million. Burgum voiced his disappointment with that decision, saying North Dakota lawmakers squandered an opportunity to give people more tax relief. You can read a full breakdown of everything that was happening at the special session this week on our website, inform.com.
The Grand Forks School District is looking into developing a virtual school for some of their high school students. Superintendent Terry Brenner talked a little bit about that option during a presentation last night. A lot of excitement around that possibility, but of course also we tracked all the new projects that are coming up as well within the city. So the virtual school could happen as early as next year, but right now there's also a lot of focus on projects like the Career Impact Academy, the new Twining Elementary, middle school as well at Grand Forks' Air Force Base, a new Valley Middle School. That's all part of what voters approved in a $79 million referendum, which is a big story that we tracked for you. So we'll continue following construction and keep you updated on what's going on up there.
Yeah. All right, today you can celebrate Halloween a little early with a fun event at NDSU. They're hosting their annual Boo at NDSU event tonight. Kids can come to the campus for a carnival and trick-or-treating. It's happening tonight at the university residence halls from 5:30 to 7:30. The carnival will be held at Cater Hall, where there's going to be some fun games and crafts going on.
We're also tracking breaking news out of Maine. GMA had live team coverage all morning. Huge story right now. A manhunt is underway. The man considered armed and dangerous. We were talking about this up in the newsroom. Person of interest. They're still using those words versus just the suspect, but we do have pictures. You broke down quite a bit of the new information this morning on First News as to who we're looking for. But 22 people dead, dozens more hurt. It happened last night in Lewiston, Maine. That's really not far from the East Coast. I kind of look at a map to kind of see where we are talking about out in Maine. But 2 shootings, 2 separate locations at a bowling alley and also at a local bar.
Yeah, scary stuff for sure. Police are searching for 40-year-old Robert Card, who's the shooter, they believe. We've learned Card is a certified firearm instructor and U.S. Army Reserve member. Card had also recently made threats to carry out a shooting at a National Guard facility in the state of Maine. Police say that Card had reported having mental health issues, including hearing voices. The Maine Department of Safety says all resources are being exhausted to find Card right now. They're actually going to have a news conference with an update on that search and all that kind of stuff coming up in about an hour here at 9:30 this morning.
Okay, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo coming up here, 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra, also inform.com. The FCS playoff rankings come out today. Dom's going to tell us why it's likely NDSU won't even be part of that group when it's announced. Plus, Jory Collins is going to be visiting with Dom, as well as the Bison women's basketball team looks to capitalize on the momentum they built from last season. Yeah. That and more on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo from 9 to 11.
All right, and then don't forget, for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, you can get an all-access pass to inform.com. Just visit inform.com/subscribe to get that deal.
Remember, our next newscast coming up here at 11, so you can get the very latest on the track of the storm, the snow,
Yeah.
all that good stuff moving into the area. And then we have you covered as well this afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, more WDAY news. And we'll be back tomorrow morning from 5 to 7, tracking road conditions and the
Yeah.
change in temperatures. So lots to talk about.
That's for sure. Until then, enjoy your day, folks. Bye-bye.